Hi guys, how are you doing? How's your day? So I'm here today to talk about cleansing, and I'm going to be coming on every day and giving you some insights into cleansing and why it's important to cleanse. And when I'm talking about cleansing, I'm not talking about doing, like a 5-day juice fast or doing some really intensive cleansing. I'm just talking about these gentle things that support your system, that support your gut, that support your lymphatics, and also why you need to do them. So we all do things because we read about them or we're told to do them, but sometimes we don't know why we're doing them, and sometimes things that we're told to do, maybe they're not having the impact we think they are. So what I'm going to be going through each day for the next 5 days, including today, are strategies you can use to cleanse, but also why you need to do it. So whenever I go into things, I always look at studies. I always look at why things are working, what's working, how they're helping, and what they're actually doing internally. So all of the things that I mentioned to you today, and I'm going to have a new thing today, which is cool because I've talked about lymphatics before, but I'm going to be introducing something new today because I've been looking at new studies, and I love looking at new studies. And so when things come out, I will be bringing it to you. So this week it's going to be why you need to cleanse, and each day I'm going to be talking about a different organ. So today I'm talking about the lymphatic system, and when it comes to the lymphatic system, we do kind of neglect it. We don't think about the lymphatic system, and it's really important to cleanse the lymphatic system because the lymphatic system helps to balance your hormones, it helps with stubborn weight, it helps with fatigue so you can get more energy, it helps distributing nutrients and fats around your body, and we use fat for energy. It also helps to get rid of the gunk in our body that can cause things like cellulite, can cause things like swollen glands. Hey Fran, how's it going? It helps to do all of that, so it helps to regulate the immune system. Signs and symptoms that your lymphatic system is not working can be stubborn weight, so holding on to weight, that can be one thing, but also cellulite, because cellulite, although sometimes it can be genetic, sometimes it can be diet, it can also be estrogen dominance. Cellulite can be exacerbated by water retention. The water can kind of sit inside the cells and cause that puffiness, can cause the cellulite to kind of look worse than it is. So that's something that happens as well. Candida is another thing. If you suffer from recurrent candida, recurrent bacterial infections, infections that just won't shift around the body, maybe an underlying eye infection, ear infection, even on the skin, sometimes that can be a symptom of the lymphatic system not quite working. One of the roles of your lymphatic system is for it to remove candida, is for it to remove dead bacteria, dead red blood cells, and they go into your glands here. We've got the thymus, we've also got the spleen. They go into these glands and kind of clean them and get rid of it so you can excrete it through your bowel. So that's it. That's what the lymphatic system does. So it regulates your immune system, it can regulate where your fats go in your bodies, and hi Queenie, it can also regulate moods and your cycle. So it's really important. Another thing to think about as well when you think about signs and symptoms are things like if you've got high cholesterol, because your lymphatic system regulates your cholesterol levels as well. So if you find you've got elevated cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol, and you're not sure why, you might want to have a look at your lymphatic system and have a look at actually supporting that. Now, our lymphatic system are all these channels through our body, all these wonderful channels. They are on the superficial level on the surface, so they're kind of close to the skin, but they also run deeper as well. They can run into the muscle, and they can run deep into the glands in our body, into our liver, into our ovaries, into our spleen, into our kidneys. So it's kind of, the job is, it's a connection of all of these organs, and the job is to nourish these organs and detoxify these organs. So some symptoms can be things like cysts and polyps, ovarian cysts, kidney cysts, these kind of things as well. So underlying, there might be some hormonal imbalances, but if the lymphatic system isn't working, it can exacerbate these conditions as well. So the lymphatic system is like this, it's like a vessel, like blood vessels. and it goes very slowly, it moves very slowly, much like a pump, and the fluid is going through the lymphatic system. It's going to these different areas. We've got our glands here, we've got glands here on the face, we've got glands behind our knees, we've got glands kind of at the front of our pelvis, and it's the job here for them to process, detoxify, move the fluid that is coming through the lymph. And so that's why sometimes we can get these kind of swollen glands. You know, sometimes people say, oh, my glands were swollen, and it can just mean because there's been an immune response. Also, it can be that it's processing dead bacteria, it's processing the white blood cells. So another function of the lymphatic system is if something is going on in the body, like it notices that there's some ovarian issues, some ovarian discomfort, and it needs to mobilize the immune system, it can get those white blood cells and it can kind of help to regulate them, the immune system in that area. So it's super, super important, and we do neglect it. We don't think about it as much, but it's one of the most important things to actually start to think about when you're starting to think about a detox. You know, if you were to suddenly do a liver detox or suddenly to do a gut detox and you haven't really mobilized or you haven't actually thought about your lymphatic system, you could be doing yourself a real disservice, because you're either not going to get as much out of your detox, or you're going to get things like a UTI, anxiety. Constipation is a biggie. When you're constipated, that does suppress the immune system, and it can also suppress your lymphatic system. So that's a big one. I'm going to be talking about that at the end. Let's talk about other signs and symptoms. Sometimes it can be eczema in these areas. People get eczema in these areas. Acne is a big one as well, because when the lymphatic system's not transporting properly, you can get kind of this buildup of bacteria. Waxy ears, ear infections, sinus problems can be a big one, and this is why massaging your face and massaging these areas for kind of a detoxification can work really well for the lymphatic system. I actually like to use a gua sha. I didn't bring it into work today, but I love to use a gua sha. I find that that kind of helps to cleanse the face and cleanse the lymphatic system as well in the face, which we don't often touch. Other symptoms, estrogen dominance. So estrogen dominance, endometriosis, heavy painful periods, ovarian cysts. Hives and allergies is a biggie as well. You know, when the lymphatic system is not working 100%, you get this buildup of inflammatory cytokines in the body, and you can also get not only pain, but you can get these kind of hives and itchiness on the skin as well. High LDL, which is your bad cholesterol, which I talked about previously. Insomnia, brain fog, mood swings, all of these things that you might not realize are down to your lymphatic system. But a big one that I find is the stubborn weight. You know, if you suffer from stubborn weight gain, and this is the weight that just won't shed, you're doing tons and tons of things, you might even be doing a detox, but maybe you are kind of ignoring this main lymphatic system, and so you're not actually getting the most out of your weight loss regime or the most out of your detox. So have a think about that as well, particularly if you've got stubborn weight. Two others that are interesting. Interstitial cystitis can also be a sign of lymphatic issues, and also constipation. So I want to think about constipation as a sign of a bigger thing. It's not just about the bowel, it can be about other things, and we know that a lot of the lymphatic system goes to the bowel. We know we've got the appendix there. Now the appendix can hold a lot of the lactobacilli, and that can regulate your immune system within the gut. So here's the thing, if you have had your appendix removed, that is a huge sign that you do have this lymphatic system issue, and it could lead to either diarrhea, loose bowel motions, or for some people constipation. So if you haven't got your appendix, you do need to be working more on your lymphatic system, and you do need to be giving yourself a lot of good bacteria daily, because you haven't got that storage system, which is the appendix. Lastly, underlying infections can really cause an issue for your lymphatic system, and I see underlying infections an awful lot of the time. By an underlying infection, that could be a parasite infection, that could be underlying candida infection, bacterial infection, and it can kind of sit anywhere in the body. You know, some people might have an underlying infection in their tooth or in the gums. Some might have like a little sinus infection. I had a client once who was getting headaches, no other symptoms, but occasionally she would just get this headache here. And that was going on for so long, and eventually she went and had an MRI, and they found that she had this kind of like this home of bacteria where she had this underlying infection, and the bacteria had covered itself in a microbiome, in a biofilm, sorry. So it was just living there, happy as. But what the body was constantly doing is it was constantly trying to mobilize and use all the lymphocytes and the neutrophils to kill this infection, but over time they were kind of getting suppressed, and that can affect the lymphatic system as well. So there are lots of things that can be going on, but definitely that underlying bacterial issue, parasite, or even viral infection can cause an issue. So it's just something to think about. Now, when it comes to your first kind of port of call, when it comes to your lymphatic system and what you need to do, the really exciting thing about the lymphatic system is it means lots of cool stuff that you can do actually manually. You know, lots of cool stuff like lymphatic drainage, lymphatic massage. That's really, really good. You can also do that yourself. I love dry skin brushing. I think dry skin brushing every day before a shower is one of the best things you can do for your lymphatic system. Now, I have been asked this question before because I think it's really important to try and think about this and logically about this. So we know the lymphatic system does go deep. So dry skin brushing doesn't necessarily get in deep into the lymphatic system. It's not getting in deep and it's not working on it that way. What it's doing actually is, because you're going very lightly, what it's doing is it's mobilizing the lymphatic system that's coming near to your nodules, coming near to the glands, coming near to the thymus, and on this area of the skin. And it's mobilizing and it's supporting detoxification of the lymphatic system that way. So it's not getting to every part of the lymphatic system. To get to every part of the lymphatic system, you need to do other things. Stretching is very, very good for the lymphatic system. Yoga and walking are fantastic for the lymphatic system as well. But I tell you something that I've done some research on that's wonderful. Have I got the research here? Yeah. Wonderful for the lymphatic system. And that is, and this is really easy to do, but this is the one thing, if you've got lymphatic system problems and you have bowel problems, you have constipation, or you think your immune system is just not up to scratch, you keep getting little infections, little sore throats, the best thing you can do is a castor oil pack. So the castor oil itself is an oil you can buy in a bottle, and studies have shown that this castor oil is very, very good at fighting infections. It's very, very good for the immune system. And what has been shown to happen is when you kind of rub it on your belly or in the liver area, and then you put kind of like a cotton, just a plain cotton towel over the top. You might need two, or like a tea towel, and then you put a heat pack over. The heat pack can be something like a hot water bottle, or a normal heat pack, like a heat beam pack that you heated up in the microwave or the oven. You leave that on there and you lie down. Now what happens is that heat actually helps the castor oil to permeate to those levels of the lymphatic system, and that starts to help to detox and cleanse the lymphatic system. We know the lymphatic system has an affinity to fats and oils. They can go into it. So this castor oil will go into it and then it will start doing its job. But the beauty of this is we know that the constipation and the lymphatic system go very closely together, and when you're constipated it can inhibit your immune system. And so having the castor oil here can actually support your bowel motions, and you're more likely to get a regular bowel motion. So if you've got any of those symptoms, any of those signs, highly recommend that you start doing a castor oil pack daily for the next 10 days and see how it makes you feel. Not only will it relax you, but if you are constipated, you should find that it starts to regulate your bowel motions. Once you're going regularly and you haven't got that impacted poo anymore, or the issues with constipation, your immune system will start to pick up, and that will support your lymphatic system as well. So it's a really cool way to kind of kill two birds with one stone and support not only your digestion but also support your immune system and your lymphatic system. So that's that. So we've got the dry skin brushing, we've got the lymphatic massage, we now got the castor oil pack. I mean, this is amazing. This is so much stuff that we've got actually at our fingertips that we can do to support our immune system. And so the castor oil pack, do it every day for 10 days. Another thing that's good for the lymphatic system is cold showers as well. So we know the cold showers, it's more to do with that hot and cold therapy. I'm looking at more studies just to see what else might be going on. But that hot and cold energy actually helps to mobilize the lymphatic system and help as well. So the hot and cold showers. And then of course we've got internal stuff that you can do. So keep your fluids up, keep hydrated. But the things that can really help the lymphatic system, echinacea is good for the lymphatic system. It supports the immune system and it helps to cleanse out the lymphatic system. Echinacea is actually good if you get acne due to a sluggish lymphatic system. Fenugreek has been shown to be wonderful for the lymphatic system, so you can make like a fenugreek tea and have a couple of cups a day. And thirdly, nettle tea as well. So nettle tea is fantastic. It's great at supporting your kidneys. It's great at upping your potassium, and it's just a really good detoxifier. So choosing a couple of those physical things to do. I mean, I would do dry skin brushing daily. I would do the castor oil pack daily. Plus I would do maybe the nettle tea as well, or the fenugreek or the echinacea, and do that daily, and just do those things for 10 days and see how it makes you feel. See how your bowels feel, your immune system feels, and you should even notice your energy levels pick up as well. And slowly after doing it for a few days, you should find that it will support your skin, and the inflammation in your skin goes down as well if you're suffering from acne and those kind of conditions. So I think that's really cool. That's a lot that we've got at our fingertips, and we know that when we're looking after our lymphatic system, that can support us against bacterial infections, viral infections. It can strengthen our immune system, so it can protect our immune system or protect us against cancer. So all of these wonderful things. But not only that, it can support our hormones, and it can support weight loss and just make us feel a little bit more clarity. We know that the lymphatic system is kind of connected to our brain. We've got what's called the lymph system, the lymphatic system. This is what detoxes our brain at nighttime. The brain, and it will come down to these kind of nodules here. So this is why it's really important to nourish, protect, and kind of manually service our lymphatic system as much as we can, because it's going to be detoxing our brain and also our body, our spleen, our thymus, our kidney, our lungs, and also our liver. So it's really important in that respect. So that's number one of the series, supporting and detoxifying your lymphatic system. And I think the number one takeaway is there is a lot we can do for our lymphatic system. And if you were to do one thing today, I would say go out and get yourself a castor oil pack and start doing the castor oils, because you'll get a lot of result and a lot of benefit from doing that. So I hope you found that helpful. I just love talking about the lymphatic system because I know you can get so many benefits from working on the lymphatic system. So tomorrow I am going to be coming on and talking about the liver. So until then, let me know if you've got any questions, and I will be on at the same time tomorrow talking about the liver, why you need to cleanse the liver, what signs and symptoms you might get if you have got a liver that's not doing the job properly. So until then, talk to you tomorrow. Bye bye.